Yours me, your boy, Shonen Boy here today, and I'm here today to do the latest One Piece chapter, One Piece chapter 1027. So let's get straight into this. We got a really nice cover page here of Roger running away from a lion that he's drawn all on, and he drew all this stuff on him, like eyes and like a monobrow and everything like that, and he also drew the symbol for like dog in kanji. I think it is. I think that's how you say it, but I don't know. I don't know anything about Japanese language, so and it's kind of funny. That how you don't really see Roger at all, like doing in cover pages, and it's good to see him in a cover page, and it's sort of funny and everything like that, and then you can see Buggy and Shanks in the tree and everything like that, and it's funny. I like it. It's a really cool cover page. I like it. So yeah. So moving on to the next page. So the next page is we get to see the aftermath of the Perospero versus Neko battle, and Neko is just like, oh, don't look up at the moon because you can go into Sulong, and it might because Wanda and Carrot are injured, and if they go into Sulong, it might be detrimental to them. It might be very bad for them, and also Neko is also injured as well. So he's sort of covering his eyes, like I don't want to look at the moon right now, because I'm assuming if they get like a little bit of a glance of the moon, I don't know how long it takes them to go into Sulong. Like if they look at the moon directly on and then they go into Sulong, or if they accidentally looked up then they go into Sulong. I don't know how the power sort of works. If you directly look at the moon and you have to directly look at the moon for a little while, then you turn into Sulong, or if you just catch a glimpse of the moon and then you turn into Sulong automatically. Like, I don't know how the power sort of works, but Neko's just like, don't look up right now because the moon is in full view, and he's also saying what happened. The clouds were covering the moon. How did this happen? But it was good for him because he was down and out for Perospero had him on the ropes, which is, really surprising that Perospero, of all people, had Neko on the ropes. Like, it's really weird, but whatever. It's whatever. But, so then we cut to the roof, and, Yamato and Momonosuke are like, whoa, like, what just happened? Like, this is insane. Like, they just cracked the sky, and Yamato has heard about this, in the, Oden's, log book and everything like that, where, Roger and Whitebeard, when they clash, they also split the sky as well, and you get to see, Luffy and Kaido, sort of like, facing off, like looking at each other menacingly and everything like that, and and it looks really cool, and so moving on, and then Yamato, gets a backlash from that last Thunder Bagura that she, when she was clashing with, Kaido, and she's like gushing blood from where her head is, and she's like, oh shit, I thought I blocked that, Thunder Bagura from my father and everything like that, and then and he's like, I'm really injured, and Luffy's just like, Yamato, go and help Momonosuke, go and help that scaredy cat. And I love when fucking Momonosuke's like, hey, what the hell do you mean by scaredy cat? And Luffy's just like, it's you're the fucking scaredy cat here, okay? You need to buck up, you need to stop being a pussy. You became an adult and everything else like that. I thought you would have matured and you would have actually, gained some balls. And Momonosuke's like, fuck you! Fuck you! It's funny. The back, Momonosuke's back and forth between Luffy, because Momonosuke is still an 8-year-old child, but he has the body of an adult. But Luffy's trying to make Momonosuke a man and everything like that, and Momo's still like an 8-year-old child, still has all the fears and everything like that, and it's so funny. But But they're about to escape from the battle between Luffy and Kaido, because Luffy wants this to be a one-on-one, and he wants Momo to go down and try and stop the Onigashima from going crashing down into the flower capital. So Yamato jumps on the Momonosuke's head and says, I'll be with you all the way, Momo, let's go. And then Kaido's kind of looks at them and says, where do you think you're going? And he tries to attack them and everything like that, and Momo's just like, holy shit, Kaido's coming after me, I better get the fuck out of here. So he runs away, and it's so funny because he's like, he's just like running away from Kaido coming at him, and it's just like, oh shit, like if I was Momo, I'd be shitting my pants right now seeing Kaido coming after you. And I'll be like, oh shit. But then Momo tries to get away, and Yamato blocks one of Kaido's moves. I keep forgetting Yamato's name for some reason. I don't know why. Then Luffy, tries to. They basically get off Onigashima, and Momo is thinking back to Kinemon saying like, oh, give me strength, and Yamato's like, hurry, Momonosuke, and she's like blocking Kaido's move and everything like that. So So moving on to the next page, Luffy, grabs Kaido by the neck with his feet, and he says, "Come back over here, get over here." And Yamato is like, "Oh, I understand, Luffy. You want to fight him one-on-one." And Luffy just gives a big grin and says, "Yeah, I kind of want to fight him one-on-one. I want to defeat him because he's defeated me a bunch of times, so I at least want to get one good defeat on him and everything like that." And Momo is like shitting his pants right now. He's trying to get out of there, and he makes the clouds to sort of stabilize himself, and Yamato's like, "Can you make the clouds?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can make the clouds." And he makes the clouds, and he just learned how to do it just then, because he didn't know how to make the clouds, to stabilize himself, how to fly and everything like that. And Yamato, she's just like, "Oh, if you can't do all the same things that my father can do, maybe just do the flame clouds and everything like that." So I don't know. I honestly want to know what made Vegapunk say that fruit was a dud, because that fruit looks pretty similar to Kaido's fruit, and it has pretty much almost the same powers, maybe not the same powers as like Kaido because he's got the actual fruit, but like from what I'm looking at right now, Momo, he looks exactly like Kaido. He's got the flame clouds. Maybe he might be able to do a hybrid form. He can't do a Boro breath, but I'm pretty sure if he trains a little bit, maybe he can do a Boro breath. I have no idea, but we'll have to wait and see. But at the same time, like, I really want to know what made Vegapunk say that the devil fruit that he made was a dud. Like, it wasn't that very, it was a failure, because it looks pretty damn good. Like, it looks way better than the smile fruits, because a smile fruit, you only a part of your body changes into a into an animal, and you can't revert back. Once you eat a smile, that's it. If you get an animal part or something like that, you cannot revert back, which kind of sucks. You're kind of stuck like that. So So Luffy grabs Kaido by the neck. Yamato says, "You want to fight him alone?" And Luffy says, "Yeah." Momo and Yamato get off the Onigashima and everything like that, and she's telling him how to use the flame clouds and everything like that. So So moving on to the next page. So the next page is they're seeing the rubble, falling off Onigashima and everything like that. They see the flower capital, and they're very close to it, and they're going to be there in the next 5 minutes. So it's going to be, all hell is going to break loose in 5 minutes if they do not defeat Kaido, King, Queen. Those are the three main people, and maybe Orochi. I don't really think Orochi is that big of a deal, but like the three main, and also Big Mom is there. I almost forgot about Big Mom. Those are the four main people that you got to keep a track of. Big Mom, Kaido, King, and Queen. Those are the big four you got to keep a track of and defeat, and then and we also get the confirmation from Yamato that Kaido is taking damage, because we had no indication before this that Kaido was taking any damage or whatsoever. Like, he obviously was like getting hurt, and he was getting attacks done on him, and they were going through and actually injuring Kaido, but at the same time we didn't really see him having any injuries or anything like that that's really sustaining, like and this is actually confirmation that Kaido is, feeling the burn. He's feeling, fatigued. He's actually feeling the repercussions of all the fights he's been in, because Kaido's been in a lot of fights on the top of Onigashima. Like, he has had his fair, share of fights throughout this, while they've been flying over to where the flower capital is. So now Momonosuke and Yamato are going to try to stop the island. They're going to try to use Momo's clouds to lift the Onigashima up to see if they to make it stop. And Momo's like, I don't know if I can be able to do this, because I just learned how to do the clouds. I have no idea if I'll be able to keep the clouds up and make sure that it's sustaining and everything like that. I do believe that Momonosuke is gonna, be able to succeed and maybe push Onigashima a little bit, somewhere else, and not actually fall on, the flower capital. Maybe he can just push it out just before the flower capital and sit it down right next door to the flower capital. That'd be, pretty good. But we'll have to wait and see. But and Momo's just like, okay, I'll try to stop Onigashima and everything like that, so that's basically what's happening here. Let's move on to the next page. They're still talking about the same thing. Yamato is saying to Momonosuke that if they don't stop Onigashima from, is about to fall on, the flower capital, if it does not stop, this is very detrimental. Everyone will die in the flower capital, because there's ammunition bombs, a gunpowder and shit, and the force of, the island falling on top of the the flower capital will just make it a massive bomb, like a nuclear bomb going off, and everyone will die. So this is a life and death situation. And I felt like this was going to happen. I feel like this is always the thing with One Piece, where the end of the arc is coming soon, and Luffy, they give a time limit, and the fights, Luffy is fighting the big bad guy, and he has to take him down in a certain amount of time, and if he doesn't do it, all hell breaks loose. Everyone's going to die if Luffy doesn't defeat the big bad guy, and and it's giving me Dressrosa sort of vibes, the whole birdcage, give me 10 minutes and I'll have this down and all that sort of stuff. And so this is gonna be a long 5 minutes, and I love the Momo and also Yamato sort of banter they have back and forth. Yamato hits Momo on the top of the head when he's a bit scared of, he doesn't know if he can do it or not, stop Onigashima from falling and everything like that, and he's like, oh, should we tell Luffy not to defeat Kaido too early, because if he defeats Kaido or something like that, his clouds could go away and Onigashima could fall on the flower capital, and it could be and it would just go kaboom and everyone would die. But so Momonosuke, you've got to buck up, man. You've really got to try to stop Onigashima, because it won't if Kaido gets taken down, which I'm pretty sure Luffy is going to defeat Kaido, at this particular point in time, like Luffy's Kaido seems like he's been shipped away enough so that Luffy can defeat Kaido and everything like that. So Momonosuke, you've got to stop Onigashima. Like if you can't, if that island does fall, everyone's gonna die. So it's either you got to either buck up or we're gonna all die. So yeah, and Yamato says, don't stop you, Luffy. He's the only one that can defeat Kaido. We've got to do our part. We got to stop Onigashima and and save the flower capital. So yeah. And then moving on to the next page. Then we go back down to the where the Zoro and King fight is happening, and Zoro gets whacked through to where Frankie is, and Frankie's like, oh, do you need any help, Zoro? And Zoro's just like, nah, I'm good, but this guy right here, he is really powerful. And Zoro has cut off one of King's sort of spikes, and you can see part of his mask, and I do want to see what King looks like. It's something that I've thought about, but it's not that too important, but it's a thing I want to know. I want to know what's underneath his gimp suit. I want to know what's underneath his black suit that he has on. And they're going blow for blow, with Zoro and King, and it's really cool. I like that. I would have liked Frankie to help Zoro out. That would have been really cool. Zoro and Frankie team up, because we've never seen that. We've never seen Zoro and Frankie team up together to defeat someone. It'd be cool if a team up, but Zoro wants to defeat, King on his own. So yeah. So moving on, they're just battling each other, and we get to see where Zoro cut off King's mask, and he's very pissed off about that. King and Queen have a bit of a banter between each other. King is shooting off some blade slices and everything like that with his
wings,
and one of them hits Queen, and Queen says, oh, you stop that, you could have, you hit me in the bum. And King says, I wish I hit you in the neck. And it's oh damn. But yeah, you can see that they don't really like each other. They're I guess I guess rivals. Yeah, they're rivals, and they're not very fond of each other, but they're in the same crew. So yeah. And King looks so menacingly when he's walking up to where Zoro and Frankie are. He looks so cool and awesome. And King goes in for an attack, and Zoro is three sword style, tries to block it and everything like that, and he repels Zoro and shoots him out of Onigashima, and Zoro turns around, uses one of his moves to shoot himself back into where Onigashima is, and Zoro's I do not want to die, falling off like that. If I'm going to die, I want to die by the sword, so have some respect for me. And King says the same thing, where if you're gonna say that, I want some respect too. Kill me by the sword as well. And we get to see a little bit of his, sort of mask and where his hair is, and there's a sort of maybe a tattoo where his eye is, and I want to see what King looks like. It's going to be cool, but I don't know what he is going to look like. There's a lot of there's a lot of theories, speculations, and everything like that. I'm probably just going to wait until he reveals his face, and we'll have to wait until the anime gets to this point to see what his hair looks like, and what his face looks like, what his skin is, all that sort of stuff. So yeah. And that's the last page of the chapter, where we get to see, King sort of like, where his mask has been, sort of taken off, and it looks really cool. King looks super awesome, and I really want to see this fight in action. Like this fight, like Oda, don't skip over this fight, please. I beg you, Oda, just, give this fight a full chapter. Like, I would love a full chapter of Zoro versus King, and that's it. Like, we get a full chapter of Zoro versus King, and a full chapter of Sanji versus, Queen. That would be awesome, but I don't think that's going to happen. We probably will cut between these fights. We might, next chapter, I'm pretty sure that we're going to cut over to Sanji and Queen and see their fight, but I really want to see Zoro versus King, because this fight looks awesome, and I'm really excited to see, what, more of, King, and see his, like, moves, like, what Zoro's got up his, we pretty much know what Zoro's got up his sleeve, or anything like that. He might bust out a new move, maybe, I have no idea. He might try to do Ashura, I really like to see that, but who knows? But I really want to see, this fight between, King and Zoro. This looks really cool. I really want to see this, and I cannot wait for the anime to animate this. It would be so cool to see this in anime format and everything like that. And yeah, so this is a pretty awesome chapter. I'd give it a good solid 8 out of 10. It was really hype, and we've got the whole, death situation where, like, if we don't stop Kaido and Kaido in the next 5 minutes, Onigashima is going to fall on the Flower Capital and destroy everything, and it's going to be, chaos, and everyone's going to die. So, Luffy's going to defeat Kaido in the next 5 minutes, which sounds insane, but I feel like Luffy's going to do that. He might go Gear 4th, Snake Man, or maybe Gear 5th, who knows. I don't think we're going to get Gear 5th. I highly doubt it. I don't think we're going to get Gear 5th. I think he's going to go into Snake Man, or maybe Bound Man, and use the Conqueror's Haki, sort of enhancement thing that he got in that fight. Or maybe he might break out a new Gear 4th. Who knows? I would honestly like to see that, maybe a new Gear 4th, but I don't really know. But I would honestly like him to just finish it off in Snake Man. That'd be cool, and we get a Snake Man versus Kaido fight. That'd be kind of cool, and then we get to see Zoro versus King. I want to see who's going to what King looks like, and who's going to win the fight. I know that Zoro is probably going to win the fight, but it's going to be a hard battle, and also I would like to see Sanji versus Queen, and I'm pretty sure I know who's going to defeat Queen in that fight. It's going to be Sanji, but I'd like to see the fight. So yeah. I honestly wouldn't mind if Sanji, even though he said his body was weird, he put on the raid suit again. I would like to see that, but maybe not. Who knows? But yeah. But anyways, that's it. That's the chapter. The chapter was really good. I give it a good solid 8 out of 10. And yeah. So, and I don't know if there's a break next week, but there could be a break next week. But I'll have to wait and see. But yeah. Anyways, this is your boy, Shonen Boy signing out. Like, subscribe, comment down below. What was your favorite part about the chapter? Did you like this chapter? Did you dislike this chapter? What do you think is going to happen next time? Do you think Luffy can defeat Kaido in the next 5 minutes? Do you want to see the fight between, Zoro and Queen? Of course you do. And what do you think, Queen's going to look like underneath his mask? Put that in the comments down below, and have an awesome day.